Yo, how's it going, people? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the Big Six show. Sorry, we're a bit late. That's the latest I've been on this channel, but obviously when you're getting a group of fans together, sometimes men are gonna come late. Some men are on Chelsea TV and that, and it gets a bit Hollywood out here. So we had to wait. We had to wait. But it is what it is. Obviously, you're used to the same old people here. TOBS, how's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to crack some skulls today and talk.
What after the L? Yeah, what after the L? Bloody hell, mate.
Oh, what? You mean our first L since the opening day of the season? Okay, sorry.
Listen, it don't matter, man. It don't matter. It's L to L,
Don't worry, we're gonna get into that. SAEED, you good, yeah?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. You get me, man. Saw the Pogba show yesterday. Yeah, man, we're good, man. Pogba is back and he's ready. The haters are still active, but we move.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that as well shortly. Matisse, how's it going, man?
Just sending my prayers and whatnot, you know. I'm just a little bit. I'm a little bit worried about what can take place. I'm already seeing things in the comments and whatnot. So I see Toby has got that look in his eye.
The Wi-Fi's on point today. He's ready.
That's why I had to wait for you to come on, man. I had to wait. It's only right, man. It's only right. Obviously, you was here beginning of the week. People watched the show. GRIZZ, it's been a while since you've been on the show. I think a couple of weeks now, but you are back to represent Liverpool in the hot seat again. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, my brothers. I hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is safe down there. You know what I mean? In the table. But yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm calm. We go again.
Well, we might as well stay on you, GRIZZ. Obviously, Liverpool got the big win of the week against Tottenham in what is an early, push for the #1 spot. What's your thoughts on the game and how it went? And we'll move on to Toby soon.
Yeah, mad game. The best game of the season, I think, quality-wise. The two best teams, I think, this season, quality-wise. Without doubt. Obviously Matisse might have his say. SAEED might try to talk, but are definitely the two best teams in my opinion. I think Spurs have shown since that opening day defeat, wasn't it, Tobes? Yeah, opening day. Yeah, I think they've shown that they've come a long way under this manager, and rightly so. You know, he does well in second season. We've all discussed that as well. They came with a rigid plan. I thought it was negative of plan in my opinion, like looking from a Liverpool point of view. As soon as I saw no Reguilon, no Ndombele, and he replaced them with Davis and Lo Celso, I thought, okay, we're gonna see parking the bus different. Like this is different parking the bus. This is gonna be like 6, 2 and like just 2 up, like 6-2-2, and that's what it was, man. It was kind of hard to break down, but I thought that first 45 minutes. Spurs made us play the best football we've played this season. Like they forced us to be on it because there was no space anywhere in that team, in that lineup of Spurs. But I was encouraged from our point of view, man. I loved it. We had a 19-year-old who was playing at Kidderminster Harriers last season.
Baller. He's a baller.
He's 19. SAEED, he's 19. He's playing Kidderminster Harriers, and now he's up against Son and Kane, two of arguably the best forwards in Europe right now. We had a 19-year-old in Curtis Jones who's not being talked about enough. So many people are talking about Mason Mount and Foden and all these mans who are playing at a lower level. No disrespect to them, but they are. Curtis Jones is playing at the top level in terms of we are the Premier League champions. He's playing in the best team, one of the best teams in Europe, Champions League, digging us out. When we needed him, we had no bodies, guys, in midfield. We needed him, and he turned up again. I thought it was a brilliant game. I think Spurs had the chances to win the game, but we deserved to win the game overall in terms of a better team. So
yeah, I watched the Curtis Jones, I think, clip earlier where he was talking about, it might have been old to be honest, where he's talking about earlier on in his career when he got dropped back from the first team into the, the under 23s or whatever squad it is below. And how a lot of players might see that as a knockback, but he just made sure his head was on and he made sure he was the best player on the pitch to get back into the first team squad. And that's the mentality you need. You can kind of see that at the very least, he's got the
bad boy mentality.
He's got exactly.
He's got the proper bad boy mentality because he's one of those players like, Klopp, if he doesn't think you're going to make it into the first team, according to me, he sends you out on loan. Curtis Jones, so many clubs came in for him on loan and he didn't let him go. He learned from the likes of Naby, Ginny, Hendo, Fabinho, all these mans. And when he first came on the scene in a cup game, and I think he's put one in the top bins against Everton. And we were playing a scratch squad and everything. And he got interviewed afterwards, right? And he said, with his chest out, you know, like he must have been 18 at the time, possibly. Right? And he said that, and he said with his chest, they said, what's your ambitions? What do you want to do? Normally, 18, 19-year-olds want to say, yeah, I want to just learn. And when I get my chance, you know, I want to take care. He was like, I want to be playing regularly for Liverpool Football Club. And he said it and he meant that. And boy, he's done everything he can to make sure Klopp's got hard decisions when our ballers come back, like Thiago's back, Ox is back, Naby's back in the next week or two. All these players are back. Yeah. He's made it hard for the coach to drop him, because I think if any of you guys saw that performance, it was not a 19-year-old man. That was like a mature player out there controlling it, you know. But so yeah, he's got the bad boy attitude. What you need in a youngster, like no fear, no nothing. It's not disrespect, it's confidence. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. Yeah. And this guy's humble as opposed to arrogant. You know, he doesn't play arrogantly on the pitch. He plays with confidence. He doesn't do it in the wrong areas. Yeah, arrogance is when you do it in the wrong areas. Any area, disregard your teammates. This guy does it in areas where you want your flair players to do the shit. So yeah, man, it's looking good as far as he's concerned.
Definitely, obviously, you're a happy man. 3 points clear at the top at the moment. Toby, we'll move on to you. And obviously, game plan, Jose, nearly paid off, but obviously a last-minute winner for Liverpool. It is what it is. What do you think about the overall performance and feeling afterwards? You're obviously very, still energetic today, so you haven't lost momentum.
No. Like, it's not gonna lose it. You got bare people in the comments who are saying, "Oh, they don't have to win," and I stand by that. I stand by that. Like,
you started all this, man. You started it with the energy.
I did, and I stand by it. Like, there is no shame in going to Anfield and losing. The only problem is there's a lot of frustration on my end, which I didn't expect to have, because we played better than I thought we'd play at Anfield. I mean, in the first half, people can say Jose Mourinho parked the bus. He did. We don't really like that football. He stunk the joint out. He was playing Lo Celso out wide, and it was comfortable for Liverpool. They scored under fortuitous circumstances, but really and truly, they had us penned in the whole first half. But we got a lucky breakaway and we scored. Son was clinical, made it 1-1. And in the second half as well, I think anyone who watched that game would be fair in saying that Jose Mourinho, he went for it. We sat back in the first half. We only had one attempt in the first half. And second half, we had 7 attempts at their goal. And out of those 7 attempts, we created like 3 genuine clear-cut chances at goal, in addition to a half chance of Harry Kane on the box as well. So I feel like there was a deliberate plan in the second half to go after that Liverpool defense. And if not for our finishing, we actually could have come away with a point or 3. I do agree with Grizz. I think Liverpool were the better side. They moved the ball better. They dominated the ball. They dominated possession, and they kept us penned in for most of the match. But in terms of what your objective is on a football pitch, i.e. to stop the opposition from creating clear-cut chances and to create clear-cut chances of your own, I think we did that better than they did. I don't remember them creating any clear, glaring...
The Mane one was clear, wasn't
clear-cut chances. Which one?
The Mane
one. When he turned Aurier.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's a clear-cut chance. And Aurier got to the... I'm talking... Look at our chances. Sonny bearing down on goal, 1v1. Bergwijn twice bearing down on goal, 1v1. Harry Kane, point blank header right in front of goal. These are glaring opportunities that we didn't take, and it's bit us in the bum. So I can't be too mad at that performance. I can be mad at the finishing and the switching off at the end for the set piece. We need to nip that in the bud. But as far as I'm concerned, this is not going to derail our season. It's not going to stop us from our objective for this season, and it's not gonna mean we're gonna slide and go back into form. I think this weekend you're gonna see us back on job, back rejuvenated, and we're gonna get a win against Leicester. It's just a small bump in the road.
Okay, well, I want to move on to Matisse quickly. Obviously, I might as well let him get some shots in before we move on to Chelsea. So, Matisse, what did you think of Tottenham's first loss since the Everton game, and Will they bounce back? What do you think overall?
I can't be honest. I want to take shots, but it is Liverpool, so I can't even really get onto them. And like you said, it's Anfield. Now, obviously, they would have hoped to go to get something out of the game, but this is a team that are unbeaten in what 3 years at Anfield or something. I don't know what it is now. So it reminds me of when Chelsea were doing that under Mourinho. When you got a fortress like that, there's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother situation where it's like, even if things can just start going against you. Do you know what I mean? It's like Liverpool got such this surge and such this run and such this, where I said this before, Klopp will bring the team up with them, regardless of the injuries. He's bringing the team up to his level, not the other way around. So even though Liverpool have had injuries and whatnot, they've just been getting through it. And I have to give massive credit to Klopp, because I feel like at no point has he dropped his standards. At no point has he said to them, it's cool now, we can make excuses for the fact that we've got injuries. Yeah, he's been pissed, and rightly so in so many ways. But he ain't showing it when it comes to the team. And the way that they're talking about Curtis Jones, it reminds me of when we were speaking about Billy Gilmore in the handful of appearances he got as well. We were speaking about him as a player that's like, you can't. You disagree?
No, I'm saying the fact that you're comparing Billy Gilmore to Curtis Jones.
Why like that? Do you not rate Billy Gilmore?
I don't rate him as highly as I rate Curtis Jones. No, I don't. I think Curtis Jones has stamped his name in big matches and he's been balling out for the champions. I think it's a little bit different from cameo appearances against Everton when you're 3-0 up in a Premier League match.
Well, it's not really a cameo appearance. He played the whole time. It's not really a cameo appearance.
Wow. That's all I'm saying. I've never seen.
It's not a cameo appearance against Everton and Liverpool. You played the whole 90 minutes.
I just didn't like that comparison, to be honest.
It's not a comparison of player, and cool. They're both very talented players. So if you don't,
one's very talented, the other one's okay.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to argue that with you, because that right there, that doesn't even deserve the argument. If you don't rate Billy Gilmore, that in itself, you will be.
He's okay. He's okay though.
I never said I didn't rate him. I just said he's okay. Like he's nothing.
He's not an okay player. He's not an okay. If Mason Mount, I can understand you saying he's an okay player, but if you watched Billy Gilmore in those matches, he won man the match, and if you've heard Roy Keane speak on him, and you still don't think he's okay, I'm not gonna dispute it.
Can I just say something neutrally, yeah, because I see this is a Spurs versus Chelsea kind of sort of animosity. I'm gonna be neutral because we've panned both of you, yeah. So what I'm gonna say is like I get Billy Gilmore's a highly rated player at Chelsea, yeah, Matisse, yeah, but in the same sentence, then I heard you say, I would understand if you said it about Mason Mount, who, in my opinion,
no, because I know a lot of people don't rate Mason Mount. And
why? Yeah, but why would you care about people? You know, Mason Mount is the one that's been playing in the Champions League. You know, Mason Mount has been, I think, vital to Lampard in you guys being around the top, near the top.
Yeah.
Why would you be negative? I think so. I think even that derby, I rated Mason Mount. I thought this kid can play.
Because
and then he brought him to Chelsea.
Mason Mount's played a high volume of games, so he hasn't maybe been as consistent along the way.
That matters.
There's to poke in Mason Mount's game if you're going to go for player. Whereas Billy Gilmore, every time he's played, he's had a lot of injuries on the way.
I've seen Ghana, man. I've seen Ghana, man. Have you watched Ghana? He's a similar player to your guy Gilmore. You know what I mean? I think they're okay, but when they go against the big boys,
it's like Liverpool fans bigging up Harvey Elliott because we think he's going to be an absolute bad boy, but he's not at the moment. Our bad boy is Curtis Jones. That I find Chelsea fans a bit weird when they talk about Billy Gilmore more than their current people in their squad that are holding it up. Like Mason.
Billy Gilmore's had a lot of injuries, so that's why Billy Gilmore.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Billy Gilmore, like literally nearly every time he's played, has been very influential on the game.
No, he hasn't. Not every game. I can give you one game. I can give you one game where he got hooked off. Last season, you played Leicester.
How old is he?
Like 18.
He's a kid.
You played Leicester in the FA Cup, Matisse, and he was awful. And Frank Lampard rightly hooked him off.
That's one game.
Who was it that you played recently? He came on as a substitute and he gave away the ball like twice within the space of 5 minutes.
19-year-olds do.
But that's the point I'm trying to make. You're talking about it like every single time Billy Gilmore's come on the pitch. He's done
You're
has
not.
been- all I'm saying is this.
What I will say, I'll let you continue.
Let
What I
him
will
land. Let him land. Let him land.
No, what I will say, I'll let you guys continue. But what I will say, I'm not dissing Billy Gilmore because I've seen him live. I went there, you know, when you guys beat us in the FA Cup, Matisse.
Yeah.
And Billy Gilmore was one of the probably man of the match. Yeah. So I rate the guy. Yeah. I see what you're seeing in him in terms of the potential. I just don't get how they sort of disregard Mason Mount in the same way.
It's not disregard. It's I would understand it because there's a lot more in Mason Mount's game where you can pick holes in it because you've seen him a lot more. Billy Gilmore, nearly every time he's played, like I said, has been man of the match almost for us in terms of he's played his debut in different competitions. He's just been getting man of the match. Again, a couple of weeks ago, he got man of the match. But Toby,
Why are we still talking about Billy Gilmore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Really, I feel like Toby just wants to argue because I said the same way
He's got you.
I said the same way that Liverpool fans feel about Curtis Jones is the same way Chelsea fans feel about Billy Gilmore when he came into the team.
I think the comparison should be with Harvey Elliott. That's just me.
I think we should just move on from Gilmore.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect us to go for like 5-6 minutes on Gilmore still. SAEED, obviously Man United. Yeah, I'm shocked, man. I looked today at the table, and you lot have a game in hand. And if you win that game in hand, you're second. Like, I want you to give me your thoughts on Liverpool, Tottenham, and obviously your game too, and what to expect from you lot moving forward.
Yeah.
You made some wild claims off air. So
listen, man, listen. What stays off air. But nah, you know what it is? Yeah. For me, I think Jose Mourinho, I don't know what he was saying, but the best team might have lost, but I feel like the mentality from Mourinho, you know what? Shame on them. I don't have any sympathy for Tottenham. I really don't, man. I said it to Expression. I said, yo, listen, this is what you're going to get with Mourinho. He has a game plan. I think he's stubborn, sometimes a bit stubborn with it. I feel like, I think you look at Liverpool, man, that kid, I think at the back of Fabinho, why would you not go for that high line? I just thought Mourinho.
We did go for it, and we created chances.
You did it, but not to an extent where I thought.
Yes, we did go for it.
You did it in moments. You said 3 chances, right?
We had about 4 chances at goal.
No, you said 3. You said 3.
No, I said 4. I said we created 3. I said we created 3 in the second half. I said we created 3 in the second half, in addition to the one we scored in the first half.
Okay, you've had maybe that Bergwijn chance is probably the only chance that you're looking at, clear-cut chance. So the Harry Kane one is probably, it goes in sometimes, it doesn't go in sometimes.
And the one that Son scored, that's not a clear-cut chance as well.
No, but that's a goal though, isn't it? We can't really add that,
that's
can
my
we?
point. You just said, why did Mourinho target Fabinho and Reece Williams?
But was that on the cuffs though? Was that on like a moment of kind of individual brilliance? You had a moment, it's flashed.
It wasn't a moment of individual brilliance.
It wasn't sustained. Was it sustained that period of play? What? I never ever thought for Tottenham when they were playing, it was almost when they could catch Liverpool out. I just thought that team, could have beat Tottenham, Liverpool convincingly. I really, man. You got Son, you got Harry Kane against. I don't know who that kid is in the back. He's a very, very good player, but he's very inexperienced, man. Fabinho, he's a centre defensive mid. Mourinho should have went for it, man. And that kind of mentality later down the line, I think it will probably bite Tottenham fans. You know what I mean? Down the ass, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I think Liverpool just about deserved it. I think they were more on the kind of they were more up for it and they kind of wanted it more. I think sometimes you got to look at the mentality of 2 teams. Klopp wanted it more and he wanted to win the game more. And I think for me, it's a fair result for Liverpool. You know what I mean? Just shows where Tottenham are really. I think they're going to be in and around that kind of top 4. I don't think they're going to really mount a title trying with Mourinho. I think, for me, it's too negative, man. And I think, Toby, you'll realise it sooner or later, mate. You will realise it sooner or later. But we had Martial, Pogba. We had one of the, we had class players in there. You know what I mean? And he couldn't get the best out of him because you know why? He believes in a way that it's just not football, but it's anti-football. It's dinosaur football, guys. It's unbelievable, man. You know what, Toby? You will get there. But in terms of Man United, should we move on to Man United, Turkish,
Yeah, let's get into it.
But yeah, man, you know what I mean? We're doing good right now. You know what I mean? With Pogba's show yesterday, I don't want to hear no slander about Pogba, man. Listen, no more slander of Pogba. He's world class. He's probably
world class. No, he's not world class.
I knew Kobe was going to be first.
Who said
world class?
Oh my days, man. What are you on, man? What are you on?
Class?
How can you say he's not world class?
Because he doesn't play like a world-class player. Having world-class ability does not mean you're a world-class player.
No,
The guy has
he was
one, two.
Okay,
No.
a world-class player. Let me hold on. A world-class player, yeah, sets the difference between games.
He has world-class moments. He has world-class.
No, but he's a world-class player. He's
potentially. He doesn't show.
The fact that you're calling him a world-class player shows that you're overrating him.
I think you've been harsh on him.
Saeed, the guy.
Let him land. Let him say things.
He's a world-class player, and he's showing it last night, man. Look at Aziz with that. Look at Aziz.
Tell us.
Ndombele dreams of that in his sleep, man. You know what I mean? He's probably watching DVDs of Paul Pogba doing Aziz. You know what I mean? That ball.
Are you finished?
No, let him finish, man. Let him finish.
The ball over the top for, is it Martial? Listen, no one makes that. I think De Bruyne on his day can probably do that. Nobody does that in the league, period, yeah. He was a difference yesterday. What is the league? Bruno was a bit quiet. You know,
Thiago play golf.
Thiago, we're not seeing it this season, man. He's been playing Fortnite, hasn't it? You know what I mean? At home, man. You know what I mean? Thiago. But we're not seeing that. We're seeing it for Bayern. We're seeing it for Bayern. I'm not going to give accolades to Thiago when I've never seen it for Liverpool yet so far. So when that happens, Grizz, I'll give you your kind of, due respect.
Thiago done a no-look pass to Mane that was given offside. Thiago's done more of those balls in his 90 minutes than Pogba.
Listen. Paul Pogba last night, was a difference why I won the game. That for me is world class. I've known he's world class. It's sometimes the consistency is in there. I understand that, but he still is a world class player. You guys are just seeing moments. You don't see Paul Pogba every game for 90 minutes. Do you not see that? I see this guy 90 minutes.
Are you finished? You finished now?
Yeah, I'm finished now.
Okay, cool. So for starters, you're saying this Paul Pogba guy is world class. He's a quality player with world class ability. He's not a world class player. The reason why he's not a world class player is because the guy does this every season without fail. He'll play well one game. You had your chance to speak. He'll play well one game. He'll play well the second game. Play well the third game, and then he'll go missing for another 4 games.
What do you want him to do?
He does that season after season after season. You'll struggle to name me one world-class season Paul Pogba's ever had at Man United.
The first 2 seasons at Man United, mate. If you watch them,
just let me finish because you had your point. You'll struggle to name one world-class season at Man United, and now you're coming in here saying that he's world-class because he's playing up against corpses. He's playing up against the worst side in the. He's playing up against the worst side in the league.
Don't judge the team. There's 20 leagues in the league. There's 20 leagues in the Premier League.
They've accumulated 1 point in 13 games.
That don't matter to Pogba, though. Why does that matter to Pogba?
Just let me finish. The pass he did to Martial was quality, but that's an example of what we're talking about. The guy has world-class ability, but when it comes to world-class application, it's missing.
Do you think the club, Toby? Do you think the club have played a part in that?
I do think the club have played a part in that because I do think that at times the players around him haven't been good enough, and the onus has been on him to do everything.
Judge him as a player, though. Judge him as a player. Is he world class? Yes or
no, he's not a world class player because he's not consistent enough. His individual performances do not warrant those performances of a world class player. And the last point I want to make on this, on Paul Pogba is he's entering his prime years. He's entering his prime years for Man United, and we're still talking about the same thing with Paul Pogba that we did when he first joined Man United. Can he do it for 4, 5, 6 games on the spin? Henderson, chill. Jordan Henderson is not a better player than Paul Pogba. Yeah, wait. Let me finish. Let me finish. Jordan Henderson. He's not a better player. I don't know where he's going. He's not a better player than Paul Pogba, but he's way more.
He was like, "Yo, nah, bro."
He's way more consistent. He's way more consistent.
Brother Toby, you're spitting facts. Them men were trying to discredit Lampard's career and all this rare tear that he was systematic and he needed a certain system. When they were on my show, SAEED and rants, Lampard was a system player and he needed this, that, the third. Pogba. Brother, if he's so world class, brother, just deliver every week. What's wrong?
It's what I'm saying.
Lampard had to play. All these top players had to play under different managers, different formations. I didn't hear no excuses. Well, suddenly, he's playing a little bit too deep. Cool. Then stay humble about it. Then, do you know what I mean? But it's like shoving it down your throat. World class. Okay, deliver. Why?
Yeah.
And you know what?
Why do you have?
SAEED, he said not best. Henderson is not.
Oh, is it not better?
Yeah, I said.
Okay, sorry.
I said.
What you said.
I said Jordan Henderson is not. I said Jordan Henderson is not better, but you look, Jordan Henderson in his own right is a quality midfielder who's consistent.
You can't even compare them though. You can't
But
compare them.
That's the point. I can compare them because he's consistent.
But this is a proper example of how defensive and how reactive they are when they hear anything about Pogba. He didn't even hear you.
Toby, on FIFA, you can't compare them. You can't compare them.
What about?
You can't compare them though.
Listen, Toby. Obviously, we've got a super chat here, but basically it says that Pogba topped assists in 17-18, and someone else said that out in Europe, no one else has done more goals and assists than him.
Wait, hold on. See, that was kind of assist. Milner was our top assister when we won the Champions League. Are you going to tell me Milner is the best, or world class? Is Milner world class? He was a top assister in Champions League.
Fans will tell you it's not all about stats, and then they'll bring up stats.
Exactly. So don't bring up stats. Look. We need to establish. Okay, say.
Go on.
We all need to establish what does world class mean.
Honestly, it's ridiculous.
How do we?
Chris, let me give you this example. Yeah, let me give you this example. Steven Gerrard. Yeah. Steven Gerrard in the noughties, he was playing with Igor Biscan, Didi Hamann. He was playing he was playing with Aquilani. He was playing with all these players, and his level rarely dropped. That is a world class player.
Man, you can't be putting Gerrard and Pogba. I hate when this happens, man.
Let me just land.
I hate that too.
Fantastic point.
I hate that too.
No, it's not a fantastic point, man. Come on, man.
Just let me land. No matter the result, Liverpool win or lose, it's not about the result. It's about your individual performance. Steven Gerrard's level rarely dropped. Yaya Toure at Man City, no matter the circumstance, from the day he joined to about probably 2016, 2017.
When did he have his prime years? Hold on. When did he have his prime years at Man City? No, but that's a question.
Luka Modric, listen to this. Luka Modric at Spurs, he played with Scott Parker. He played with...
Answer the question. Let me answer the question to you.
No.
When did Yaya Toure... No, hold on. When did Yaya Toure have his prime years at Man City?
Now, SAEED. The point I'm making is that world-class midfielders shine, no matter the circumstance. They shine. Cream always rises to the top, no matter the circumstance, no matter the result. Cream always rises to the top.
Listen, I don't want to get into a pop-up argument here, but answer the question. When did Yaya Toure have his prime years at Man City?
I don't know, like 20 from about 2010 to 2015.
Okay, so 28 to 34, that was his best years at Man City. So what are you telling me now?
You're saying Paul Pogba isn't world class?
No, he is world class. He is world class, and there's still more to come about that. He's world class, and there's still more to come. That's what I'm saying to you.
Can we name 5 midfielders?
You can't name 5. You can name
loads. What in world?
We name 5.
No. In the Premier League. Let's stick to Premier League.
What midfielders?
So all of Liverpool's. Right, so I'm not gonna argue with that. I don't care.
But assistant playing, that's the problem, man.
Kante all day long. No, Kante all day long. De Bruyne. That's 5 there.
It's gonna hurt.
No, but I don't know. I don't like this argument, man. You said, GRIZZ, you said all of Liverpool's players, but they're players that
Thiago, all of them. They've all been playing. Listen, let me explain. I'll tell you why. I said that off the cuff, But I tell you why, because I want to get back to defining world class, and I'm waiting for all you brothers to help me define world class. That is the point. That's the point.
What I'm trying to say
I want us all to agree to define, get a definition of world class, because that's when you work from there. You can't just say world class, because man's got skills and always good on FIFA or whatever. I don't give a shit about that. What defines world class? Is it performances on a regular basis over a number of years, minimum 24 months, let's say? Minimum,
you know what?
Yeah. Personal accolades, team accolades.
No,
I don't know. Is it availability, durability?
I think it's your individual level.
It's all of these, right?
It's your individual level of consistency, no matter what the team's winning. For me,
you know what?
For me, I feel like we're tarnishing. The world class standard by calling him a world class player. And the second point I want to make, that point about name me 5 midfielders better than the league. I've just said Paul Pogba's a quality midfielder, but there's a difference between being a quality midfielder and a world-class midfielder. If you call Paul Pogba a world-class midfielder, then your standards of a world-class player are low.
Not really.
When you look at the period of midfielders, when you had the Xavis and the Pirlos and the people like that around, even the Zidane time as well, you had a lot of midfielders at that world-class level. Now, I do think if you look around the level all round has gone down.
Exactly.
You know?
There's not many.
It's
and that's what I'm
hard.
saying.
So,
I think, you know what? Let me find a point. Let me make a final point.
For me, there's only two world-class, maybe three world-class midfielders in the Premier League right now, in my opinion. One of them is Kevin De Bruyne. The other one is arguably Thiago, and the other one is Fabinho. Those are the only three world-class midfielders for me.
Let me just make a point.
Right
Let me make a final point.
I wouldn't say Kante is world-class right now. I'd say he's quality.
Kante.
I'd say.
You see my hand, Matisse?
I'm not even mad at Kante. But I'm
Matisse,
not.
you see my hand?
I'm not
You see
having
my hand, yeah?
I see Kante. No way. No way.
You know what? For me, yeah. What I want to say, yeah.
Honestly, let them call me clowns in the chat. I don't care.
No, it's cool, man. Listen, what I want to say to you, Toby, is Toby, what I want to say to you.
One sec. What we've seen for the last 4 or 5 years, you cannot tell me that's a world-class midfielder.
No, you know what it is, yeah? And this is the problem. This is the problem with fans right now. You know what the fans is right now? They've got an image of Paul Pogba and they're sticking to it. What they see with Paul Pogba is, yeah, they want him to have a good game. Another good game. When is it going to end? That's my
just 2-3,
man. And that's my problem, man.
We don't want that. We're not saying Paul Pogba has to play a 9 out of 10 every single game. We're saying you have to be consistent over the season. He's not consistent over the season.
Listen, I don't know what you guys see. I don't know, but we'll move.
Yeah, well, obviously, we haven't even moved on to the bloody result yet. You started with Pogba, and then it just went left.
No, but I know what I'm saying. I was starting how good he was.
Talk about your result without mentioning.
That shows you what the agenda is on Pogba, because I've said he's playing good, yeah, and then we're talking about world class. But anyway,
listen. One sec, Saeed. Let me just say this super chat out before we move on from Pogba. Pogba's been out of position playing next to dead ballers. Explain why he looks world class in the blue shirt.
That's a lie.
Looks awful out of position. And you know what, Toby? Like, to be honest, it's been 50-50 in the comments too. And someone said it's a very
50-50.
It's been 50-50. You know, some people said you're talking facts. Some people said Saeed's talking facts, and some people said Matisse is talking facts with the here as well. So it's all opinions at the end of the day. And one thing I need to mention is, obviously, listen, I don't want people to be disrespectful in the comments, but especially if you put a super chat to it as well. I can't really be putting disrespect on the screen, especially to the people on here right now. So I appreciate the super chat, but keep it, you know, nice and humble and get your questions and thoughts across. Saeed, back to you about the United.
I'll just say, you know what I mean? I'll say we played well last night, you get me? I thought the 3-2 didn't really justify the whole game. I thought we sat back when it was at 3-1. I think Ollie should have went for it more. I think we should have got the goal difference up. I think Liverpool have got plus, is it 11 or something like that? What have you got, Grizz?
Yeah, plus 11, I think.
Yeah, plus 11. So I just feel like, you know, we should have got the goal difference up in there. And I felt, you know, again, man, you know what I mean? Rashford, the ball over the top. We're looking good, man. We're getting the results, man. And that's the main thing, you know what I mean? It might not be pretty on the eye, but we're getting the results. And listen, man, if you're putting Tottenham in that title talk, I think Man United have to be in there. You know what I mean? And that's how this league is. I still believe Man United can win the league because of the players we've got. The players we've got are Bruno. Van der Beek's on the bench, guys. Van der Beek probably get into most teams in this what we're talking right now. It would probably get into most of these teams what we're talking right now. And I just feel like when we're in there, man, we're in the mix. You know what I mean? Other teams are falling, and we're just looking up, man. And that's it, bro. I'm confident right now, and that's the main thing.
So what are you saying? Ole in then?
Listen, it's not about Ole in, man. You get me? I support Man United, mate. You know what I mean? I support Man United regardless of who manages in there. You know what I mean? I support Moyes, mate. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
I support Mourinho, mate.
If it goes left and you start losing 3 games, you are gonna say Ole.
No, but I know, no. The problem is though, I know my opinion. I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not good enough to win us trophies. So that's why I've always said to Man United fans, what's the stopgap? What is it what you want? And I've always said, yeah, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer delivers this league title, yeah, I will literally give him the biggest sorry there ever is. I will say to him, yo, listen, you told me something that I couldn't, I never thought that you would do. I'll put it up to him. But right now, I just see flaws in there, and I know we will be consistent. But what I do know is, yeah, these players, after 1-0 down, can get the game by the scruff of the neck and win those games individually. And look at Pogba, that ball over the top to Pogba, that what's it called, the move. Like, this will happen. Good players play with good players, they produce magic. You know what I mean? I don't think it's down to tactically because I don't see it consistently enough. If it was down to tactics, yeah, against Man City would have blew them away. They were there for the taking. The game against Arsenal, the game against Chelsea at home. If it's tactically, yeah, Ollie should do it home and away. But we don't. We see it in moments, we see it in flashes. And that's why, for me, I don't believe in the manager, but I do believe in this group of players. That's what I believe.
Fair enough. All right, we'll be here every week for the next for the.
Well, there you go then.
So we'll see how it goes up and down. Hey, Matisse, obviously I want to move on to you. There's been a couple of super chats that I put up earlier about Havertz and Werner and them being flops already. Listen, I'm not a fan of calling players flops very early on. Like I like to look at the bigger picture, but you was kind of flying high a few weeks ago, a couple L's, and it looks a bit different. Like, how's your thoughts on the game and the overall picture at Chelsea right now?
We were poor, really poor, and the thing is with Chelsea is that what pissed me off the most is that there was no urgency after we conceded the first goal. There was no, we're coming back to another level now. We're gonna put the foot on the gas. We're gonna take it up another gear. Many times when we've seen Liverpool, for instance, they're under the cosh in the last couple of weeks, and they've gone, right, we're going to go up another gear now. We're going to go and get another goal. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna really start to strut our stuff. Chelsea never did that. They took the lead. So, if anything, we could, after that, then we should have just been able to control the game, but we wasn't able to dictate the game. If you look at the average positions of the Chelsea team as well, it's quite poor. The shape was really bad. You had a situation where you had basically a really lopsided attack. All the attacks were really going down the left-hand side. There was no right winger for a lot of the game. Pulisic was interchanged with Werner, which I didn't understand from Frank Lampard. That was my massive gripe with him, is that Pulisic has already shown that he's the best left winger at the club. He already showed that he had Semedo on toast. He showed that he had a lot of right backs on toast at the end of last season after their lockdown. So why move Pulisic over to the right and put Werner on the left, who's dropping stinkers left, right, and centre? It doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to just put Werner on the right, because for me, whether he's on the left or the right, you're going to get the same type of performance from Timo Werner at the moment because he's been off colour. Same with Kai Havertz. Whereas Pulisic is actually a baller right now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that doesn't make any sense to me. And also, Kai in general, his average position is quite deep, and I'm quite disappointed in that. I was hoping that Mason Mount would be the deeper one and Kai would be further forward. He's a final third player. But then also, not to even cut excuses for the players, they've just been poor. Those two individuals, because those are the two headlines, they're the big money signings. They've just been poor. Timo Werner's first touch, poor. Missing big chances, open goals, borderline, poor. Kai Havertz making simple passes look difficult, giving the ball away, poor. Receiving the ball, not shielding the ball very well, something he needs to learn very quickly, especially in this league. Is a lot more maybe physical. He's not shielding the ball when he receives it. He's just allowing a man to brush him off it. When he's got the body, he's got the height to shield it and cover the ball a bit better than he does. So, yeah, man. And this is the day where usually our defense is on point. They let us down, and now that's the result that's really been coming for the last few weeks because the attack hasn't been doing the business either. So it was only so long before this defense was going to crumble. It's not going to be able to bail this team out every single week like that.
Do you think the West Ham game, the derby, is the right game at the right moment, or do you think it's the wrong game at the wrong moment?
Wrong.
So we know what Toby thinks.
For me, no, it's not the right game because West Ham are doing decent right now. And I feel like, well, I don't know, because do you know what? I'm kind of hoping that West Ham team come for us. I'm kind of hoping they start getting physical because this team need a little bit of a rocket up the arse. Do you know what I mean? I feel like right now they're just kind of going through the motions, especially after that goal was scored by Wolves. You would have thought it would have kicked them into a second gear. Going through the motions a little bit. If anything, they need a West Ham to just shove the rocket up the arse. West Ham are going to come. West Ham going to be right up. They're going to be well up for it. Really, really aggressive from the offset. Declan Rice is on that side. We know the links there with Chelsea. You know what I mean? He could drop a masterclass like no other. I think last time I remember us playing West Ham, we was at Olympic Park, and they absolutely beat us there as well. We was horrible in transition. Last minute goal we conceded, so that should be in the players' mind. But overall, just Chelsea in general, they need to improve themselves so quickly. Otherwise, it doesn't matter who they're playing because. Like I said, the two big signings right now, I'd probably, if it was up to me and I had the options to do it, I would put them both on the bench against West Ham, personally.
Both on the bench, yeah?
Both of them, yeah. They're both. It's a merit thing. Both deserve to be dropped if we're being serious because I've seen Hudson-Odoi drop for less. I've said it before. Hudson-Odoi's been dropped for less in this squad. He's been out the squad for less. So
who would you bring in to drop him? Because I feel like Werner. I get your point. Werner's been really poor the last month.
Very poor, and he slept on. But Abraham, Chelsea fans would be killing him.
But I feel like one, because of the wingers that you've got out injured, he has to play. Even though I do think he's playing a heck of a lot of football right now. So
not the same as the German league, is it? You know what I mean? They play once a week, if that. You know what I mean? Sometimes not as intense as well. So
Christmas break and all that. But even still, I mean, you know, brother's first touch should still be on point. For me, I think I heard in the press conference that Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi are training. I don't know if it's too much too soon for them. I would also look at maybe potentially, if you're going to keep those two in the team, right now I would change shape, because there's no point continuing something that's not working. I've seen it back to back game now, 4-3-3, it's not working. And like I said, the average positions were poor. I'd actually look at, I'd look at even a diamond and stick them both up top. Take all the responsibility of build-up play away from them, because Werner can't play right now in tight spaces. His first touch and his pass and then concentration is off. Just take to him, your job's to finish. You're going in the team, you and Havertz, like you do for Germany, top two. Havertz plays false nine for Leverkusen at the back end of last season. He knows how to hold the ball up. You make the runs. You two put the finishing away. Leave the whole backside of the pitch to us. We'll handle all of that. And you, man, just score the goals. And if you don't score the goals, then we all know who to blame. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be that kind of roof. Either they out or they got to do that.
Matisse, my brother, I just want to ask you about because a lot of Chelsea fans have been hyping about this goalkeeper that they've got, and he's the Black Gordon Banks and whatever. but recently he's been a bit poor. Would you agree? I've seen him about the last 3 games. He's making rash decisions, and that was the start of the downfall of the other one, the Spanish. Now I'm not comparing him, but what I'm saying is it was a start of rash decisions. That's why it started happening, and then the confidence starts taking a beating. Now, at a club like Chelsea, man, what do you think about his performances recently?
For me, Kepa, as a goalkeeper, fundamentally, he had a lot of issues. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't collect crosses. He's a very short goalkeeper. His wrists are quite weak. Even if he got to the save, his wrist would flat back and it would go in the back of the net. So for me, fundamentals, Mendy's just a better goalkeeper. He just has more goalkeeping attributes that you look for. Do you know, Petr Cech's scouting you must have something. Now, he's definitely in a poor run. I think Toby spoke to me about this last week, and I said, let me wait for it to build up before I start really getting into it. Again, game just gone. I wouldn't say the final goal was poor, because that was actually a solid finish, 1v1. First goal getting beat in the post. Do you know what I mean? I know it was defensive and whatnot, but you should have saved that. So it's starting to build up now. One thing I will say about Mendy is that he needs to stop coming out. That he's got to stop doing that. He's not.
It's that rashness, isn't it? It's that rash coming out.
And we don't want him to be a sweeper keeper. I don't need him to come out. I feel like, again, that was just overconfident. I don't need him to come out and start trying to challenge for shit that he don't need to get involved in. Just stay in goal and do your job, which is to save the shots, because you've been good at that so far. Collect the crosses. You've been decent at that so far. I just need him to settle down next game, to be honest. But there's no competition for who's in goal for us. He's still going to start.
Reminds me of Tim. We had Tim Carroll and what's his name, Tim Howard. You'll be chopping and changing. You know what I mean? I feel like for me, until Chelsea go and buy a top keeper, man, you're just gonna keep swapping and changing. I feel Lampard sooner or later, if this form.
Or you want to buy another 50, 60 pound million?
It's not that deep yet. It's not that deep.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the criticism on Mendy is a bit. I feel like it's a bit harsh because
it's been a bit naughty.
Pardon?
I said I think I'm being a bit naughty. Yeah, maybe. It's only 2-3 games.
I think Matisse has hit the nail on the head. He's only come into problems when he's playing beyond his means. He's not a sweeper keeper. So when he's coming out and goal, he's not good at that, and that's where you'll see most of the mistakes. I think everything else, the shot stopping, being commanding at corners, etc., just general presence in the box. I think that's where you see the positives. I think he has improved Chelsea. I think he's a good keeper, but I do think over the last couple of games he has had.
I think he's a good keeper. That's the thing. I think he's a good keeper. I don't
That's
think
what I mean.
he's. I don't think he's a world class keeper. That's
No,
gonna
he's not
in
world
the
class.
league. You need a world class keeper, man.
No, I don't even think
You know what? I don't even
they just need a reliable keeper.
I think you need to see him with a decent defense in front of him first before you make a decision. I think.
In that good defense, though, I think they're raving about their defense.
Do you know what? I'm not even cutting that excuse because I think it's a good defense right now. If you have the strongest in, I think Silva, Zuma, Reece James, or Aspilicueta and Chilwell's a solid defense. And I think Mendy's a solid goalkeeper. So I won't even cut those excuses for him. I just think he's gone for a little patch. Now he's got to come out of it. He's got to settle down. His mentality, I don't worry about that. You know, if you know his backstory, he's not gonna be one of these guys to get complacent like Kepa was mentally. I don't expect him to start getting cocky and whatnot. He's a very humble guy, and I just expect him to go and work hard with Petr Cech and go back and bring the business. So I'm not really worried about Mendy, to be honest. Long term.
I think you got priorities there at Chelsea. I don't think Mendy is one yet, but like Grizz said and Toby said that eventually it might become one. But obviously we don't know yet. We need to see him more in action, and Chelsea's still building that team. So in a year or so, we'll be able to judge a bit more accurately. Same way with Kepa, after 18 months, you could start seeing the.
Yeah. I gave him a lot of time, and then when time was up, time was really up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Push became shove in the end with Kepa. But listen, we're 45 minutes in, and we'll move on to the Arsenal game. Listen, I forgot to tell people, Steve's not here today because he was busy, but he will be back for the next shows moving forward, and that's the Man City fan in the hot seat, and that will be 6 of us moving forward. And there's over 850 people here. Make sure you hit the like button. And what I want you guys to do as well is in the comments after the video is processed, let me know whether 10 p.m. every Friday or 11 a.m. every Saturday works for you guys. Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments afterwards, and we'll get it set weekly. And it's even better that way. And we'll move on to Arsenal Everton now. And there's one quick question I want to ask and go around. Ancelotti and Arteta, they're a year in now. Sunday, Arteta's a year in. Ancelotti's a year in on Monday. They both started with the Arsenal Everton game. They both saw it from the dugout. I mean, behind the dugout, they allowed Ferguson and Ljungberg to take charge. It was 0-0. Since then, we've won an FA Cup, finished 8th. They've had a very good transfer window, finished 12th last season, and started this season a lot better than we have. Firstly, Ancelotti, and we'll start with TOBS first and just work round. I want you lot to rate him out of 10 so far, and then we're going to do the same for Arteta. Ancelotti, TOBS, what do you think of his time at Everton so far?
I would rate it at maybe probably like a 6.5. I think a 6.5/7 out of 10. I didn't think he had the zeal or the motivation to take on that task of trying to change Everton into a respectable club, because I must admit I saw him at Napoli, and it just felt like he had lost his way a little bit at Napoli towards the end as well. And that Everton job is not easy, because you have to come in and you have to improve the defense, the midfield, and the attack, and you need to sort out the goalkeeper as well. But to his credit, he's come in, he's been backed by the club, and on top of the good window they've had, they've actually got some good results this season. I know their form their form probably over the last month or so hasn't been the strongest. I know he went on I think it was like 1 win in his last 7 games. But if you compare Everton in the way they play and the results they're able to pick up this season compared to last season or the season before, where they were a bit of a soft touch under Marco Silva, I think you can say there's improvement. So for that reason and that reason only, I'll give him, as I said, 6.5 or 7 out of 10.
Fair enough. That's what some of the comments are saying there. I'm seeing a lot of 6s, 7s, and 8s. SAEED, what do you think?
I agree with that one. I would probably give him. Yeah, I can probably give him a 7. I think he's overachieving with his squad, mate. I really do. I think he's overachieving, man. This squad for me, he's got a good first 11, but I think the whole squad, mate. You know, what I mean, he's working with a lot of deadwood, mate. You know, what I mean, you're looking at the bench, mate. Tom Davies, you know, what I mean, not really of quality to come off the bench and do something. He hasn't got a second striker. You know, what I mean, he's got a lot of good centre backs and whatnot. The midfield for me, I think, you know, there's a lot of reliance of Richarlison and kind of James Rodriguez to create. There's a lot of creators in there. So I think like he's working miracles in there. And what the top are they 5th or something like that right now? You know what I mean? They beat Leicester.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're man. They're above Arsenal, that's for sure.
Listen, everyone's above us, so that's about it. You know what I mean? Sorry, Turkish, but you know what I mean? It's like, you know what it is, yeah? For me, yeah, exactly, the fifth, man.
One day I'm gonna be able to rip everyone in here. One day,
Listen,
fam. I don't care if I'm 50.
One day when the Cronkies leave, man. I tell you
I'm
that.
gonna be in here same way, fam.
You're gonna have great years when it happens.
Listen, man, don't blame. It's not you, man. You're a humble guy, and I like you, man. There's a lot of other fans that have been get me talking the talk, man, and not been walking the walk, but
I
you know what
hear
it is, yeah. I think Everton, man, you know what I mean? They're a good team, and you know what? The thing for them is, I know the problem with them, they'll go up and down, they'll fluctuate like that because they'll have ideas and they'll be okay. But as soon as one player goes out that jigsaw, I feel like they'll show for what they are. And I feel like for me, tough game for Arsenal, man. Really, really tough game. I don't see anything other than Everton win. I'm sorry, Turkish, but I want to find some kind of positive because I want to keep Arteta in the job. You see, that's my main priority. Keep Arteta in the job. But listen, Everton, man, they're looking good, man. I think, you know what? I see a convincing win for Everton, mate.
Yeah, well, so do I. But Grizz, what's your opinions on Angelotti? We've got two like sevens there, basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. What the guys have said makes I kind of agree with too. He's been it was a strange. It felt strange because Carlo's been one of my favorite managers of all time, and then he goes to a place like Everton. No disrespect to Everton, or a team like Everton, I should say. Not a place like Everton, a team like Everton, and it just doesn't match. Don Carlo at them. But anyway, ruffians. But listen. Respect
him, man.
At the end of the day, he can. What Toby said earlier in terms of making Everton tough to beat, making them respectable. He's done that. You can't argue with that. Yeah, certain Everton fans, like certain Spurs fans, go OTT about the job he's done and he can do, and all that business. What he's done. I don't think he's overachieved. I think he's achieved what a man of his caliber should achieve with the funds that he's had. He's had a lot of funds. Let's not forget that. Some of the signings have come off. Some of them haven't. Like, he's a man who paid, 30 million for Iwobi, for God's sake, man. Why go on there?
They got him. They grabbed him before he came in.
That's mad. Oh, is it? But okay. Yeah. So, but he's still playing him. So that's what I'm saying. He has had chances to move out these players, but he's had a lot of injuries. Let's give it that to them as well. They've had a lot of injuries, man. So they're fifth is a bit deceptive because there's about 2 points from 13th to 5th, something like that. So, that can sway. But overall, I kind of disagree with the ratings of about 6.5 to about 7 for me as well. I just hope he leaves them, man, because it still irks with me, man, that Don Carlo's at Everton. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, 10 years ago, I didn't think Tottenham would be around where they are now. But here we are, man. Sometimes you got to deal with shit, man. Matisse, what do you think about Angelotti so far? Obviously, you're familiar with him, so
yeah, man. You know what? I think I'll give him the highest rating. I think I'll give him a 7.5. I think if you look at his record when he took over from Silva last year, I know they didn't finish in a great position, but what he did there, his record was intact. His record was solid. Walking into a bit of a mess. And then if you look at the signings that he's brought in, he's put a different pull power on Everton. James Rodriguez, Decore, taking some of the Allen at Napoli is a top player as well. He's really risen the standards again in terms of the transfer market and the pull power. And you look at the player development, you look at the likes of Calvert-Lewin, you want to look at him. He's gone up to another level. He wasn't a player that people were speaking about as, potentially a young English striker that can come through and really, get in the national team. So he's done a lot there. Recruitment wise, I think, if he had Martinez instead of Pickford, that's the one thing he made a mistake. They didn't capitalize on. They took Martinez from Arsenal instead of sticking with Pickford. They could be in the top 4 right now. And then they're fifth. They're getting up there. And I think they've played. They've been playing decent football. I can see a plan. The thing is with Ancelotti is I can see what he's trying to do as a Chelsea fan as well. He was very quick to come in and put in a system when he was with us. So I'm really impressed. I think he's taken Everton to another level, and the main thing is that his signings have been really, really good signings. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't wasted the money. It's all good spending the money and having lots of money. We know about that. Yeah. But he's brought in players that have taken no time to sort themselves out. They've gone in straight away. People would have written off James Rodriguez. They would have said, "What the hell are you doing bringing him into the league?" He didn't have those thoughts. He brought him in. He's got the best out of Calvert-Lewin there as well with the likes. So his signings have complemented the players that he's wanted to get the best out of as well. So there's a clear plan. And I think, for me, what determines a successful manager is not just always trophies. I say it with Poch. is the circumstances better from when they came in? And I have no doubts when Ancelotti leaves, the circumstances at Everton will be a lot stronger than when he came in. So I think I'll give him a 7.5.
And I want to stay on you, Matisse, because I want to work round backwards. Yeah, now on the say a similar subject, the rating, but this time of Arteta. You said what you just said there. Massive point you made about when Ancelotti leaves, he's definitely had an impact there. Obviously, if we talked about Arteta 3 months ago, I think everyone would agree that, you know, losing out on him 3 months ago, it might be the wrong thing to do. But now, how times change. So yeah, similar question, and give me a rating for Arteta now, 12 months in.
The thing is with Arteta now is that I liken it to Jose Mourinho when he was 15th. There's a certain level a club should never go below of Arsenal, of Tottenham, of Man United, of Chelsea. There's a certain, once you go past that position in the table, you start dropping and talking about 15th or whatnot, you have to be sacked, because it's like there's nothing else you can do. And for me, it's like you're not getting the best out of your attack, Aubameyang. You know, you're not getting the best out. Your defense is now crumbling as well. There's no area of the pitch you're doing well in. There's no area from when you took over to where you are now where I can say that you've improved in. I can't say where you're going. I personally can't see where you're going. I can't say that your signings are all working. I can't say that, you know, there's a lot of boxes that he's not ticking. And right now, you know, whether he probably has the potential to be a great manager in the future. But right now, Arsenal needs someone experienced. Do you know what I mean? People were making jokes about Sam Allardyce and whatnot, and I'm not saying it's that bad, but you do need someone with experience right now in this league. Do you know what I mean? And Pochettino is chilling out there, and he does have a clear system and a clear plan. He wouldn't do it, of course not. He's a former Tottenham man, but that's the kind of guy that you need. That's just an example of the caliber of manager that you actually need at your team right now. Arteta's not ticking any boxes. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to be too harsh on him, because I know the fundamental roots of Arsenal are so much deeper than Arteta. Arteta right now is what Wenger was. He is the guy that kind of just takes all the shots publicly. But yeah, he's not doing well enough tactically like Wenger was. He's not doing well enough on the pitch. Maybe, you know, he's not getting the best out of certain players. He's not, you know, he's not really attacking impetus as well. What was the Aubameyang goal? Was your first open play goal in God knows how long. However, we know there's stuff below that. The board, you know, Ozil. There's so many issues with Arsenal that it's impossible to really do a great job. There's a ceiling with Arsenal, but as there's a ceiling with Arsenal, there's also a foundation, and he's gone below that. You can't be 15th in the league. You can't. So for that reason, I have to rank him at probably like a 3. Do you know what I mean? It's that. It's one of those ones. And it hurt. For me, it pains me, because this guy was so fresh off the market. He was at Pep, loving life. You know what I mean? He's like a happy-go-lucky guy, ready to come in and feel he could change the world. And he's been faced with reality. No, Arsenal, you can't change the world right now. It's not possible.
Arsenal are something else right now. Arsenal need change from above. But you know what? I think your rating's fair. I think you made a fair point. And Chris, we move on to you. You've been very... you've had a lot of praise for Arteta in the past. I mean, I haven't spoken to you for a few weeks, so it'd be interesting to hear what you think and give me a rating.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to compare the two. I don't think the mess Ancelotti came into was anything close to the mess Arsenal in terms of player contracts, players not wanting to play or wanting to move, the boardroom troubles, the levels of backing or support Ancelotti has. Ancelotti runs Everton, basically. What Ancelotti wants within the means of Everton, he gets. Whereas Arsenal, is seen as though they're reluctant to trust Arteta because of the fact that he's a novice in the game, whereas Ancelotti is the don of the game. So I can understand that, but that's why it's difficult to just jump on Arteta's head. At the end of the day, Everton would love a FA Cup. They fucking would love a FA Cup. They would love a trophy. Spurs would love a trophy. Yeah. So let's not forget that trophies are the end all and be all for clubs when you're not going to win the league, right? So Everton and Arsenal are not going to win the league. So what do they want? They want trophies. Yeah, something to brag about. So Arsenal fans can shit on Arteta all they want. He's bought them a trophy. The problem is now is I think he's in a difficult situation with the fan base, with the players.
Yeah.
And he's not experienced enough to handle it.
No.
And the only thing that you can do in this situation is two things. Obviously, it's the most, I'm going to say, sound obvious, but it's either to back him or sack him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been arguing with or talking or debating with Arsenal fans and other fans as well. And I say, and you look around and you think, if they sack him now, who do they get in for that? For right now, in the predicament they're in, what kind of coach? Because again, when you're hiring another coach, you're going to go two ways. You're going to go ultimate experienced bad boy like Don Carlo or Allegri or someone of that ilk whose experience can handle big boys, or you're going to go with an up and coming who's a potential great coach of the future, like Arteta. Yeah.
Again,
so. But who are you going to get? You're not going to get one of the big boys that come into Arsenal, with all respect to Arsenal. You're not. It's just not going to happen. I genuinely think there's a top coach in there. I genuinely do. I just think there's too much politics, too much beef, too much. There's too much water under the bridge. That fan base of yours is toxic. There's too much pressure on him, changing system and players every week based on social media pressure. What fucking top managers don't do that? And this is why he's wilting. It's a weakness of him, but it's understandable weakness because he's a novice. Yeah. I'm gonna give him 5 for that reason, because he's got FA Cup to your name, man. He's keeping that thing going about Arsenal. Listen, say what you want about Arsenal, but they win trophies, right? They may not finish anywhere in the league. You're not going to get relegated. You're not going to finish 15th. You're going to finish top 10. I'd say still around the 10th, top 10. Yeah. With the politics and drama at your club, some would say it's a foundation for him because you need to sort that shit out. That's not Arteta's fault. That's your board's fault. That's your owner's fault. And this has been put on Arteta. He's been the scapegoat of everything. Your signings, your recruitment, everything. And he's not. He's simply not the scapegoat, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I'm you know what? I respect Matisse's free, and I think that's fair as well, considering where we are. But when I done it earlier, I think Ancelotti 7 and Arteta 5 for me is fair, considering the mess we are internally. Rotten from the core.
100.
So SAEED, what about you? What's your
what, man? I'm gonna agree with Grizz on this one. I feel sorry for Arteta, man. When you look at it, Arsenal Football Club, man. You know what I mean? They've got Al Neni in the midfield. You've got David Luiz, who's probably past it. You know what I mean? You're playing Holding, who was, made his career out of Bolton. No respect to Bolton, but you know what I mean? This is not Arsenal Football Club. I feel like for me, there's you got to look at it. You got to compare him to Ollie, and I don't mean in terms of managerial. I think in terms of being backed. Ollie has been backed, man. No matter what, he's been allowed to buy £50 million right back, £80 million centre back. He's still got the foundations. You've got Bruno is in there. Has been a match winner. Arteta, for me, I know we understand him. He didn't buy Pepe, did he? It was Unai Emery, wasn't it?
And it was people above Emery anyway.
Yeah, he's only signed.
That's my problem. I don't think Arteta has bought anyone. I think they're all above his. He's just been given the players and deal with the matter.
Exactly, and I just feel like for me, Arsenal are where they are, man. I think man. I think you got to realize, man, Arsenal are not a top 4 club. I'll be honest with you, man. They're not a top 4 club.
No, we're not.
They're better than 15th. And as I understand what you guys are being nice with Arteta, but if we're being honest here,
I'm not saying that.
Someone should have them. Someone should have them higher than 15th right now. He hasn't got his listen. He hasn't got his hands tied behind his back. He picks the team. He picks the tactics. He picks the formations. He makes his decisions. He chooses to talk harshly about Pepe, but not Xhaka. Okay. He chooses these words that he comes with in the press conference.
Yeah, but I'm not criticizing him for that. I'm not going to criticize.
Yeah, I know. But
he's allowed to talk about his players how he wants, because that's how managers should be at every club, in my opinion. There should be no holds barred. You should be able to make your squad. The makeup of your squad should be your opinion on each player. Each player needs to be treated how he deserves. Maybe that's how each individual reacts. But if they finish 15th, then we can give him free.
Of course,
I'm not going to finish 15th.
I don't see it improving, so that's why I can't.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? Unless can you guys see it improving under?
I saw a good performance against Southampton, considering the pressure they were under. All things into consideration, the 10 men as well. What minute was 10 men, Turkish? But half.
60th minute, I think it was, isn't it?
About 60th, 55th minute.
Yeah.
Now Saints saying a team to sleep on, man. But so I see improvements. Improvement. The draw they got at Leeds. Slowly. It's not an overnight process, man. It's not going to turn. If they finish, and I think Turkish will accept it. If you finish 10th, around 10th, you'll take that.
Right. I think it's about right. And you know what is trophies is what, you know, I mean, you need to get, man. And Arsenal have got that in the last few years. I think Man United have won, I think, Europa League and League Cup.
And you know what? They didn't even do it cheaply, Saeed. They beat some big boy teams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. It's all about trophies, man. There's a lot.
It wasn't a cheap, easy draw all the way.
You have to judge a manager off the bread and butter, which is the majority of the season, which is the league campaign. I know the trophy is more for the fans. The board, they look at the league position. Do you know what I mean?
I understand.
It should, yeah.
But
they should.
Arsenal are where they are. I'm not saying in terms of. I think it will fluctuate between 10 or 15. They'll literally go yo-yo between that one. I just feel like sometimes he's not been backed, and I feel like give him time, man. When he gets his plays, look at what we've had with Ollie. You know what I mean? When he's had his plays, he's been allowed to be more kind of expression.
So what do you give him?
Go on there. Yeah.
So what do you give him?
Him a
I don't know what's going on over there, Saeed. You mixing or something?
The DJ.
Man, the Charlie man, fire in the booth.
My bad. I give them 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Total.
Yeah.
What are you saying about Arteta?
Yo, what are you saying?
Yeah. So it's my turn, yeah. With Arteta, I'm inclined to agree with what Matisse was saying. I like him. I think he's a decent man, and I think he's a smart man as well. And that makes it all the more bizarre, the situation Arsenal are in right now, because of course the squad. We know the squad is not a good squad. We know this. We've been bantering the Arsenal squad all season and even beforehand. We know that they ain't got the funds and they've got so much deadwood there. But at the same way, that squad is too good to be in 15th. You can't tell me that your squad's worse than Leeds. You can't tell me that your squad's worse than Aston Villa's. You can't tell me that your squad's worse than Newcastle's.
Is it?
You can't tell me.
I don't think it's much better, Topes. I
Grizz, I actually think it is. It is
a lot better. You got
Villa. Give me some ballers. Give me some ballers in the Arsenal team.
I think it is a lot better. I think the squad is a lot better. I think the squad's better than West Ham. The squad's better than West Ham.
No,
man.
It's better than Southampton's as well. So don't be.
I don't think so, man.
Not Southampton.
No.
Saeed, trust me.
Who's better?
Trust me, the squad is better than Southampton's. The reason why you're seeing,
man, it's not, mate. Go on.
Just let me land, please. The reason why you're seeing these teams higher than Arsenal is because they are being properly coached, properly drilled. That Southampton team is not good. Theo Walcott is not a good player. Vestergaard is not a good centre back.
No, you're right. Told me it's an L. That's an L. That one. That's an L, man.
It's not an L.
That's an L, man. No, I can't take that. Vestergaard is quality.
Just let me finish, because just let me finish. Yeah, this same Vestergaard that you're saying is an L. I've seen this guy. He's been at Southampton for 3 years. He's been an awful centre back for 2 years. Now all of a sudden, 6 months.
He was decent last year as well. No,
he wasn't decent last year. Southampton
after the 9-0, he cut back.
Saeed, he wasn't even a regular in their team last year. He wasn't even a regular. I'm telling you, I watched Southampton. I watched these teams play. So let me just finish. Southampton don't have a good squad. Don't be fooled by the league position. That is pure coaching. And that's the difference between a top coach and what Arteta is doing right now. Arteta is 15th. They have 14 points from 13 games. You cannot tell me that Arsenal team is that bad. And second of all, these players that apparently are so poor, he keeps picking them. He doesn't have to play Xhaka every week. He doesn't have to play Willian every week. He doesn't have to play Bellerin every week.
How many are you saying that in that Arsenal team is good? How many are you saying that Arsenal team is good?
Let me finish. And he doesn't have to play Holding every week, but he's choosing to play these players. And it's at his detriment.
Facts.
They're costing him week in, week out. And the last point I want to make on this, and I know you're going to get on to me, is, and I keep reiterating it, Pochettino got sacked. He was on 12 games played, and he was on 14 points. Look at what he did for our club. If he can get sacked, why can't Arteta get sacked?
Yeah.
If you want to talk about trophies, Juande Ramos at Tottenham, he won a trophy. He won our first trophy in like 8 or 9 years. We won a League Cup in 2008. And after that, we had a dismal run of form in that season. We finished 11th. The season after that, he went out. He got 60 million to spend on players, and he sat the. We were on 8. We were on 8 games played with 2 points. There becomes a point where the manager's job is untenable. There becomes a point where the manager is untenable at his job, and he has to go. And right now,
go back to the point of Arsenal players. Who's good in the Arsenal team? Name me who's good in that is in that squad.
Aubameyang, Saka, Gabriel, Kieran Tierney,
Partey.
Leno, Thomas Partey, and it's not even
that's it.
No, but what I'm trying to say is this. I'm not trying to say that it's the best squad since sliced bread. I'm trying to say that individually, man for man, these players, they're better than Leeds players. They're better than Southampton's players. They're better than Newcastle's players. They're better than West Ham's players. You can't just all of a sudden tell me that they're not. You can't. I'm sorry, you just can't.
You know what? I get it. But as an Arsenal fan, for me, it's not all of a sudden. Like I knew Xhaka, Bellerin, Mustafi, Holding.
You
all
would
of
never
these, man. Say that again.
You've never been 15th.
No, we've never been 15th. But you know what it is? It's that I wasn't even happy with top 4 anymore. So I'm not gonna scream and cry just to get back into the top 4. We was in problems when we was in top 4 because from above there was no pressure, there was no ambition, there was no direction. So us being 15th now, I'm not that surprised. I didn't think we'd go down this far, but I'm not surprised by it. It comes from the lack of ambition, lack of pressure. The same problems we had when we was finishing top 4 every year. It's literally the same problems, but because it's unsustainable, it's reached a point where top 4 was over. Top 6 looks over.
Reminds me of the Moyes era. You know the Moyes era we had. It reminds me similar of the Moyes era where we had a lot of all right play. We don't obviously some of them were like from the Sir Ferguson era, but it needed refreshing it up. It needed a lot of injection in there. You know what I mean? A lot of tinkering around and needed to be backed. Moyes didn't get backed, and I think Arteta he's been backed to a certain extent, but not fully, man. Not the way Chelsea, Lampard, Mourinho, they're not been back.
On that point, that's when on that point, 1, he's not being back, and 2, he's underperforming at his job. It's not to say that you sack Arteta and then just leave things as is. We all know that the board there needs to be a change at the very top level for Arsenal. There needs to be a change in the way in which they're trying to invest into the team. There needs to be a way in which they handle contracts, etc., etc. But Arteta's underperforming at his job.
I agree. I totally agree. He's underperforming, which means he can perform better, which means let him try to reach that performance that he can reach.
There you go.
It is our first flip. It is our first flip.
I agree. If they finish anything below 12th, then we can all sit back here and say, we were wrong, or whoever's backing Arteta.
I'm not that Arsenal even finishing 11th is acceptable.
Exactly.
I
can't believe
it is acceptable. It is acceptable.
It's not acceptable.
No, it's not acceptable.
It is. Wolves are better than them. Southampton are better than them.
No.
It shouldn't be acceptable. It shouldn't be acceptable.
Because I tell you what, at the start of the season, if I told you that Southampton were going to finish below Arsenal, you would not have kicked up the store.
Exactly. No, but you have to put it into context. I don't like them kind of. That's a very, very hypothetical argument. Very hypothetical argument.
You know what you're doing? You're being too reactionary.
Exactly.
No. I'm not being reactionary. I feel sorry for Arteta, and I know this squad isn't good enough.
You're being reactionary.
How's that being reactionary when the squad ain't good enough? How's that being reactionary?
No, you're being reactionary.
Arsenal where they are.
You're being reactionary by saying that Southampton have a better squad than Arsenal. That's not true.
What I'm trying to say to you, everything is right. It's working right. They've got a better 11 than Arsenal.
No, they don't have a better 11.
Aubameyang. Saeed, if I'd asked for your Premier League predictions, where would you have put Southampton and where would you have put Arsenal?
No, but you got to put it into context. I don't like the way you predict it. They
don't have a better 11.
Going into the season,
I put Arsenal top 8, by the way. I put Arsenal 8. Level of expectations at a football
club. I've got it on record. I've done predictions. I've said I've had them neck and neck. For me, you couldn't choose between Southampton and Arsenal. But as a result, Arsenal performing far lower than what they expected.
Come on. As an Arsenal fan, I'll tell you, we'll take.
Let Turkish talk about Arsenal.
As an Arsenal fan, maybe the whole 11 isn't better, but I'll take their spine. I'll take Ings.
There you go, then. Come on, man.
Spine and they'll start. Vestergaard
starts. Your spine is Gabriel, Partey, and Aubameyang.
Exactly. You're not
in terms of the one next to them, because at the same time, can
I ask you one? Hold on. I hate this talk about Gabriel.
What's the hype with Gabriel as well?
Gabriel like he's a seasoned performer in the
Tell him again, man. Tell him again, Grizz. Gabriel's
been better than all their centre backs this season.
Gabriel even better.
That's not the point I'm making, though.
But Grizz, hear me out. This team,
their best performer.
But hear me out, Grizz. That Southampton team isn't good.
Man. I'm being harsh, man. You're being harsh, man.
I'm not being harsh.
Nah, you're being harsh.
Saeed, listen to what I'm saying now, because
I heard what you said, though.
No, but chill. I'm not being harsh. These are just facts. Their squad isn't good. That squad is not. It's not sustainable. What I'm going to say to you is, it's brilliant coaching from Ralph Hasenhuttl who getting the maximum out of these players. But man for man, Arsenal should be performing higher than these players.
Stick Arteta in that Southampton team and watch where they are.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Oh, no, hold on. There's two. So we're confusing the points here. Don't get me wrong. Hasenhuttl, whatever you say his name, is a bad boy coach who should be coaching at the highest level. But you can't tell me Southampton haven't got good players. I'm not going to accept that. I don't think.
They have good players. On paper.
They've got some good players, but their squad is
debatable.
Because Walcott starts for Southampton. Walcott doesn't
start for Southampton. They've got injury problems, which is unable to come into the team. It's a good debate.
I know Turkish. I know we're overrunning. Turkish.
Yeah.
But you can even go through it man for man. And I'm telling you, the squad isn't better. Man for man.
Suddenly we don't rate Tierney.
Ward-Prowse is better than McCarthy. Ward-Prowse is better than Xhaka, El Neni. Who else do we want?
Romeo, man. Romeo's a bad boy. Man.
Romeo, for me, yeah. If you look at it on par this season, it's better than Partey on par this season.
Kyle Peters.
Listen, have you watched Romeo? No, I'm not saying. On this season right now, I'd rather have Romeo than Partey.
I didn't object to Partey. Partey is a Champions League player.
Listen, no, you don't hear what I said. This season, Romeo's been better than Partey.
Look. Partey and Aubameyang have proved at the highest level they're elite players, right? So
I'm not disputing that, but it's only.
Anyone else is potential.
There you go. Right Bertrand is better than Tierney. Right Bertrand is better than Tierney.
Don't you dare.
Are you having
no. Honestly, okay, end this now, please.
This time I take you out, Saeed. This time I'm taking you out, man. What did you just say, Vlad? How can you just say such a thing? Who are you talking to back there?
What's going on, lads? Right Bertrand is better than Tierney.
Have you watched Tierney in his career?
What?
Have you watched Tierney in his career?
Ryan Birch is a seasoned pro, man. He's been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years. He's been one of the best left backs in the league. Season out, season in, man. What are you man doing, man?
I'll come back to you on the journey.
This is how I know you. This is how I know you're.
Oh my days. You man are mad, you know.
Mad reactionary.
This is what I mean about
listen, quality, man.
I knew you were
cooking.
Nah, man, I'm not having that.
I'm sorry, that is ridiculous.
That's 10 times worse than when you said Fred is better than
man, how are you not seeing that? Ryan Bertrand's quality.
He's just a standard left back in the Premier League.
Oh no, you're salty, man. You know why? Yeah, you're salty, bro. You're salty, man. He's a Chelsea Champions League winner. Chelsea Champions League winner. And for Southampton, for the last 5 years.
So is Ross Turnbull. Ross Turnbull is League winner too.
No, what I'm trying to say to you though is, have you been watching Ryan Birch for the last 5 years?
Have you been watching Tierney, bro?
Listen, I'm not saying Tierney's not good. Ryan Birch is his quality. Ryan Birch is 10 times better than Tierney.
I'm not. Tierney's a bad boy.
We're in a relegation
fight. If you're telling me that you didn't watch Tierney at Celtic and you're saying he was, and you can't judge it at Celtic, then you can't come to me about Van Dijk, who came from Celtic and was hotting it up.
You
can't come to me about Dembele, who's a
Ryan Bertrand.
Look, I personally think
Kyle Walker-Peters and Bellerin. I'm telling you right now.
All I was arguing about
Kyle Walker-Peters and Bellerin.
Yeah, 100%. But what I'm saying is, I wasn't comparing the two coaches. Undoubtedly, Hasenhuttl is one of the top coaches in the Premier League. What I sort of got emotional about was Toby saying Southampton haven't got good players.
There you go.
I never said that. I never said that.
If you didn't say that, I'll take it back. If you didn't say that,
I said no. I said Southampton don't have a good squad.
Yeah, have a good squad.
Toby, you're backtracking now.
I'm not backtracking.
You're backtracking, bro. You said Southampton have a good team.
They don't have a good team. They don't.
Okay, you did say that now. Okay, so you did say that then. No.
They don't have a good. GRIZZ, does good team mean they don't have good players?
I'm done, bro. Toby, listen, Toby. Listen, I got time for you, but you said Southampton haven't got a good team. Yes or no?
Let me talk. Sorry, Turkish. I know we're running over.
Ask the question.
Listen, Southampton.
Oh my goodness.
It's just a normal team.
Can I speak?
Why should they be a normal team?
Yeah,
They just don't have a good team.
I don't think this mentality. So why should Arsenal be above them? Who are Arsenal?
Arsenal Football Club.
My name.
This is the team that won the FA Cup.
Yo, how much is Turkish trading tonight? How much is Turkish trading tonight? Yo, listen,
Chelsea in the FA Cup final. Everyone was like, and the triangles and the subtractors and
my brother.
And the maths. And
My brother.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Last season, Sheffield United where did they finish? They finished 9th. Yeah.
There we go. Talk your talk.
Okay, cool. So now, by Dulot's logic, they had
It's not the logic. They had the argument. No.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Different. It's not my logic.
That's not different because you said we're talking about Southampton and Arsenal.
It's not my logic.
I'll give you an example.
Sheffield United.
Listen, you can't do that.
Last year, Sheffield United were coached well. They had a good team. Yeah, they were bouncing around their top 4, and now look at them, no wins in no Premier League games.
So what? Are you going to tell me all of a sudden the squad's not good?
Arsenal fluctuate like a Sheffield United and a Southampton? Do they fluctuate like that from season to season, or is this the same Arsenal that beat Chelsea in the FA Cup final? Yeah, Aubameyang in their team who goes up for Golden Boot every season. Is that what Arsenal Football Club are we talking about here? Arsenal Football Club have not been finishing below 10th season on season. Please tell me this.
That's a couple of seasons. 8, 7, 8.
Everyone.
It's every drop.
I can't believe what you lot have said. You lot have actually said Southampton squad. Southampton have a better 11 than Arsenal. That is,
of course, man.
Lies. They don't have a good team.
No, but you're saying a few players.
They have about probably 4 good players. Danny Ing
have got 4 good players that can go to
maybe Carl Walker-Peters and
let's do a combined 11.
No, I need to check.
I'm combined 11.
Combined 11 on this.
This is why your problem falling. This is what Saeed's doing. We're doing
Matisse and Toby. I'm just going to finish.
Matisse
and Toby. I'm just going to say, out of the 3 out of the last 4 seasons, Southampton have finished in the top 10. They're not a yo-yo team. They're a good team. To finish top 10 3 out of the 4 seasons means you're a good team. 7th, 9th, 12th.
They've never really backed into the top 7 in the league, really.
I'm not calling them top 7 in the league. All my
Arsenal have.
Rewind.
Hear me out on this.
I need to select
GRIZZ. The old Southampton, managed under Koeman, they were good. Southampton in the last 2-3 years are not a good.
I've just told you. You know you like facts. I'm giving you facts. 3 out of 4 years. That's a fact.
They're not facts. Do you want me to give you the facts?
You gave us Sheffield United. You gave me Sheffield United facts.
That's it.
2017, 2018, Southampton finished 17th, 5 points off the relegation zone. 2018, 2019, Southampton finished 16th. They finished in 16th. 2019, 2020, last season, they finished 11th. And
this is they might finish there this season. They might still finish there this season.
Toby, last point.
Then I don't like the lies to say that they finished in the top.
I must be looking at the wrong website.
Toby, last point. This is the big 6. Last point. This is the big 6 show. Arsenal's badge is in the intro. Who disputed it at the start of the season? Tell me now.
No one. None of them.
Don't come in there.
None of them. The thing is, people are calling me foolish.
You can't blame me. You can't blame Turkish for that. That's not me.
Listen. We're gonna round it up now because we're nearly touching an hour and a half. We're nearly touching an hour and a half, and yeah, it's getting mad. And I just want to ask you lot for 6 scores. That's it. I don't want no debating about it. Yeah, we're gonna go round and just 6 scores. So Crystal Palace, Liverpool. I'm starting 2-0 Liverpool. TOBS, Crystal Palace, Liverpool.
It's away from home. I'm gonna be bold and I'm gonna go for 1-1. I think Palace can get a result. Liverpool's away record hasn't been the best this season, and I think
just
Crystal
a score,
Palace,
man. Just a score.
1-1.
Grizz, what are you saying?
Palace is better than Liverpool.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. SAEED?
3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 and Matisse.
Yeah, I say probably 3-1 Liverpool as well. Yeah.
3-1. Yeah, Palace have been all right though. Everton, Arsenal. I'm going 3-1. Everton. Toby.
Is it at Everton's ground?
Yeah.
I'm going 2-1 Everton.
On side.
2-1. Grizz.
1-1. Come on, Arteta. 1-1.
You're going 1-1.
2-0
The surge in Arsenal in the next few weeks. Logged it. Log it right now.
Matisse, you said 2-0, yeah?
2-0 Everton, fam. It's done. Wrap.
SAEED.
Yeah, 2-0 Everton, mate. I don't see anything coming for Arsenal, mate.
2-0 Everton, and we move on to what did I say? 3-1 Everton, Southampton City. I'm saying 2-1 City. TOBS.
I'm saying 2-1 to Man City as well.
2-1 City. Grizz.
2-0 City.
2-0. Matisse.
3-1 City.
3-1 SAEED.
I'm gonna go Southampton, mate. I'm going 1-0 Southampton, same as last season.
1-0 Southampton, yeah?
1-0 Southampton.
And what's the next one on the list? Tottenham, Leicester. I'm going 2-2. TOBS.
3-1 to us.
Grizz.
1-0 Spurs.
1-0 Spurs. Matisse.
I'm gonna go 1-1.
1-1 SAEED.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, and we move on to United Leeds. I'm saying 2-1 United. Toby.
2-2.
2-2. Grizz.
3-1.
United or Leeds?
Yeah, United.
About to say,
not confirmed. This ain't the Fergie era no more. You gotta fucking confirm.
Yeah.
Matisse.
I'm gonna go 3-2 Leeds.
3-2 Leeds. All right.
Wow.
SAEED.
I'm going 3-2 United, mate. I think it'll be a mad game.
3-2 United. And last but not least, we got Chelsea West Ham. I'm going 3-2 Chelsea. Toby.
Chelsea at home?
Yeah.
I'll go 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Grizz.
3-1 Chelsea.
3-1 Matisse.
1-0 Chelsea.
1-0. And SAEED.
I'm gonna go for 1-1.
1-1. All right, say no more. Matisse smiling there. All right, say no.
I don't see. I think Chelsea fall apart now.
I gave him a dodgy result. He gives me one. That's
I see it. Right back at you. Fuck it. But listen, people. I appreciate you, man, staying on for a bit longer. Obviously, the debate.
It's cool, man.
We got over 1,000 people right here. It's been the most successful episode so far. People, hit the like button. A lot of you guys said 10 p.m. every Friday. We'll do that. We'll make it happen. So look out for it every Friday, 10 p.m. And we'll be joined by Steve as well, Man City fan. And quickly, Matisse has got his own channel, MAH. SAEED's got his own channel, United Central.
Yeah, man.
Toby, you appear on Touchline Fracas, right? And you've got your own Instagram, Tottenham TOBS. Grizz from LFC Day Trippers YouTube channel, and that's his social media handle, Grizz Khan. Make sure you subscribe and follow them up. It's in the description below, all the details. Before you leave, make sure you hit the like button if you like the show. Obviously, there's a lot of you here. Make sure you do that and show me how much you did like it tonight, people. And we will be back early next week to review this weekend's result, and we'll be back hopefully late next week to preview the next week. Until next time, people, we are out. Have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are tuning in from. Love, take care, peace.